Okay, today we're doing a basic jazz piano lesson. So, lesson 1 to this. And hello, I'm Sean Cheek. Welcome to Easy Piano Lessons. You can contact me by sending me an email to easypianolessons@yahoo.com. If you'd like to get information on how to get some of my lessons on DVD, we can do that. Or you can visit the website at www.webpianoteacher.com. We have almost 600 videos on the website now, and they contain all the part 2s and 3s and 4s and so forth that are not on the YouTube channel. So that's how you can get the rest of those. We're doing jazz today, kind of a beginner jazz lesson, and jazz can be made really complicated. All the different scales you can play, and all the different chord progressions, and really complex chords and so forth. It's really, can turn people off, I think. So I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to kind of show you the way that I hear it. A lot of times when I hear jazz chords, they sound like two different chords played at the same time, even though they would name it one chord. So, and sometimes it sounds like, you're actually playing in one key in the right hand for the melody and a different key on the chord in the left hand that you're playing. So that's kind of how I'm going to explain it today. So let's begin with the very basics. Let's just take a basic, simple jazz chord progression. 4 chords here. And this is a very common jazz chord progression. So let's do that first. Because you can break all music down, I think, to chords and scales, really. Really comes down to that. So we're playing in the key of C, and we're going to start with a C, E, G, B on the left hand. Now the left hand not only serves as your, the chord that you're on, but it also serves as the conductor or the rhythm. And you really have to make sure that left hand stays on time, and you change the chord on time. I'm actually doing it, I guess, 16 beats for each one. Just kind of, right here we have a C major 7 chord. Automatically if you take a C chord and add a B, that makes it sound jazzy. If I just went, if you take a C chord and add a B to it, also automatically has that kind of jazz sound. Now we're going to go to an A minor chord. So this was a 1 chord if you're interested, 1 major 7, and this would be a minor 6 7 chord. And we're going to go down to A, C, E, and add a G to give it a 7th. Okay, so very rarely in jazz do you have just 3 notes in the chord. At least 4. Okay, and then we have on the 3rd measure we do go to a minor 2 chord, 7. We have DFA, and you add the 7th in there. If you're wondering why it's called a 7th, it's because it's 7 notes away from the D. Okay? Then we go to a G dominant 7th chord, which is the 5 chord. G, B, D, F. Okay, if you don't understand all that, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give you some tools here to start playing and start sounding like you're playing jazz piano without, having to learn too much about the structure of it. So what we're going to do with the left hand first is let's just get a steady 3. I guess I'm doing an 8 count. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I'm just kind of milling around on the notes, but I got to make sure I change on time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and so forth. And so do that for a while. That you really need that first to be able to keep that left hand grounded and rooted in the rhythm and change on time. Now on the right hand, some of you probably know if you were playing the key of C, you know the C scale. We're not going to use that. We're going to play, actually we'll call it a G scale, because that's probably what it looks like to you. So let's do G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. So this is our palette. These are the notes we're going to use to improvise on top of this C major 7 chord. Now having the F sharp in there will really make it sound, I guess, jazzy, because an F sharp is foreign usually to the key of C, unless you'll have F sharps in the key of C, but using it as a primary note will really give you that kind of jazz sound you're looking for. So if I were just to take this scale and kind of jazz sound. So you can see why I say it seems like we're in the key of C in the left hand and the key of G in the right hand. You can also play chords, and I just wrote a few chords here. A, D, F sharp, and B, C, G, and then A, C, E. When you mix that with that left hand C chord, it really sounds good too. So you can play chords. Okay, so really you can, just pick anything out of the blue and it'll sound jazzy, as long as you pick the notes in that scale. And you can go out of that scale, but let's just stick to it for now. So you need that, 8 counts doing that, improvising with the right hand. And you can combine single notes with the chords. You can go. Okay? And then and you say, well, how do I do that? You just got to jump in there and start doing it. If you have that left hand grounded, then you won't have to worry. Well, it'll help, with keeping the rhythm in the right hand. So we move on to the next chord, and we have A minor. Do the same thing. And see, I wrote the same chord because it'll work here too. So same idea on this next measure. And there's a neat transition chord you can use from this one to this one, and it's this: G, D, G sharp. So at the end, when you're doing this, 1, 2, 3, you can put that in right before the change if you want to do that. And then. On this chord, I changed it because I just want to show you some different tools that you can use. These are not the only things you can do, but we go to this chord, we're going to have D, E, F, G, A, C. And I put a little G sharp there. This is kind of like a D minor blues scale. A blues scale once in a while in jazz to, they kind of will crisscross those two styles. So here you can go, just for a little bit. And then when you go to this chord here, the G chord, what I put here is a whole tone scale. Whole tone scale. And a whole tone scale just means every note is a whole tone away from the other. There's no half steps. G to A to B to C sharp to D sharp to F, and then we're back to G. And it's a 6-note scale. And you get that. Okay? So what I'm showing you here, this is a basic chord progression you can use. On the right hand you have major scales available to you. You might want to try some others. Just try it out and see what it sounds like. Here we have a blues scale that we're kind of using. And then here's a whole tone scale. So here's 3 different scales. This is actually called an Ionian scale. Anyway, and then you can add some chord there. Let me show you the transition chord I used from here to here. If I'm on the A minor, okay, so I'm doing D, B flat, F sharp, and E flat. See, so 3 black notes and a white one on top. And you can use that as a transition to go into the next chord. Alright, so I just leave that up to you. And improvising, you just have to get in there and do it. No one can teach you how to make yourself improvise. You have to just get in there and play and keep trying and don't give up. And eventually, your brain and your hands will all figure it out, and it'll be second nature to you. So, hope you enjoy it.